Good morning, everybody. In front of the legendary Wall of Sound. Happy Sunday to all of you. Thought I would do a morning vlog today and cover off a few things. Some things that were requested and some things I want to give thanks to the people on my channel, particularly those who've crossed over from other communities. As many of you know, for the month of November, this is the third year, I'd like to do a fundraiser for the annual. I'd like to do an annual fundraiser for the St. Joe's Church in Las Vegas, which I don't even know how to begin to describe it. You think to yourself, if you say something like a feeding operation or a soup kitchen, we tend to think about large institutionalized operations, which might, to some extent today, are heavily subsidized by government grants and things like that. But it's very rare to find an operation such as goes on in downtown Las Vegas that just, it's all self-contained. It's all, it's not one person pulling a paycheck. It's just, it's, like I said, I don't even know how to describe when I saw how this operation is run, and I saw that the odds that they were up against in terms of providing the services every day and the absolute lack of resources that they have available to feed from 150 to 200 people a day, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all run by Father Creer and a small core of rotating. There's some regular ones that are there, but it's a rotating core of people that are volunteering to help, serving, putting up tables, taking down tables, cleaning up, washing pots and pans. And there's other people that go out and procure from fast food places things that would otherwise be thrown out: taquitos, hot dogs, pizzas that have been prepared and never sold, sandwiches that are about to expire. That also takes a tremendous amount of effort to run around, and dedication, particularly when it's like 120 degrees outside. And I could talk about the weather, because having stood on that blacktop on many a summer day when it's already well over 100 degrees at like 9:30 a.m. and that sun is just absolutely blistering, and you just think to yourself, what the heck are you doing here? You could be over in the casino playing video poker or whatever, and here you are. Well, it's what makes it super unique is its whole operation is run by the tiny church, and they've now fed, I don't know, probably close to 600,000 meals in 21 years. And it's like they're right in the shadows of gigantic casinos, literally right in the shadow of the El Cortez. And you would almost think that it's a different country. The absolute radical difference between what's going on there and what's going on in the casinos downtown. And it's just like there's just no connection between these two worlds. And when you think of Las Vegas, it's unique because it's an entertainment capital, and it's all geared towards that. But how many times do we ever think that people live and exist down there? And I'm not just talking about the destitute people that you've seen on some of my videos down there. They're so mentally, I don't want to, zombified because of drugs and other things. That I'm talking about people also that are just barely making it, and people that were laid off. In other words, entertainment is great when it's gone good. When it starts to sputter a little bit, the fallout is severe on something like an entertainment place. And that severity is starting to creep into Las Vegas now, which kind of doubles the angst. It doubles the flow. of people that need help, and not being institutionalized in any way, without access to, being able to go to Las Vegas uh, board meeting, board of supervisors for the city of Las Vegas, and buttonholing the mayor and asking for support. It's almost like there's now this barrier between secular society and faith society that we dare not cross anymore in terms of what the government chooses to see as a need. So it ends up punishing, in effect, the organizations that are doing the most with the least, end up having to literally fly by the seat of their pants, and have people scrambling around in massive heat and cold and rain and bitter winds of wintertime, scrambling to pick up food. Donations are coming in the door. You guys have kindly, through the year, supported with donations. People knocking on the door for bags of food all day long. And hey, I didn't make breakfast this morning. Can I get something to eat? You don't have this. You don't have this free flow of humanity in other organizations. It's like, well, that's it. We had our distribution, we had our feed, we closed the doors, that's it. We put the locks on, the kitchen's cleaned up, and we walk out. What we tend to forget is that non-institutionalized charitable operations, there are no effective operating hours when it comes to serving people in need. Yes, there's a set time that the feeding takes place from 9 to 10 every morning, but that's just a part of the whole complexity of what they face down there at this church intensive. I don't have socks. I don't have shoes. I've worked in that office for hundreds of hours. And I think Father's relieved because I'm working close to the door, and then when he doesn't have to get up and walk around and go to the door. I don't have any shoes. I don't have any socks. And you see this person, and you look across the street, and you see people laying on that sidewalk when the air temperature is like 120 degrees, 118 degrees, and you get your laser thermometer and you point it on the ground, and on that sidewalk is like 125 degrees. And there are literally people just passed out that can't even get themselves off of that sidewalk. So sidewalk burn is a very major thing that occurs, and making sure that a huge igloo container of drinking water is set up outside and things like that. It's unusual. I'm just telling you, I've been involved at St. Vincent de Paul. I've been involved with the Redwood Empire Food Bank. I've been involved with the Redwood Empire Gospel Mission here. We raised money for them about 5 or 6 years ago when we started doing charitable donations, but they can't hold a candle in my mind to what's going down here. And I thought to myself, somebody said, why do you get involved? Stick your nose in. Well, one thing, I enjoyed going to Las Vegas a lot. And I still enjoy going to Las Vegas. I see my friends down there. I hang out with them. And a lot of times in the back of my head, I have the thought, this is a fly in, fly out kind of place. So it's very, very few people are going to be rooted in here. And the city's very transient and it's very mobile. So it's extremely hard to keep anything going for a year or two in terms of operations with volunteers, much less 22 years, 21, 22 years. I found it very intriguing. And I thought to myself, I should give a little more back here than just having a $20 hamburger or whatever and supporting the restaurant and that. I really think that I need to do a little more for the people that have to be here 365 days a year, because it's very hard especially when you're down and out, because as you go lower down the societal chain, the amount of judgment increases dramatically on people's lives because, well, we do judge by appearances and things. And at first, as people would stand in line in the morning years ago, 3 years ago, I'd look at people I'm videoing for the turkey, the annual things, this guy could work, this guy could work, this guy would work. But then this woman could do something. Then you go over and you sit at the tables and you try to be friendly with people and you try to be encouraging. Hey, how is everything? Yeah, good morning. How you guys doing? And you start to converse with these people. And it's no bueno. It's like you're communicating on a walkie-talkie in a different language from Mars. But these are our brothers and sisters. And as Father Creer once told me, this is somebody's brother, this is somebody's sister, somebody's mother, somebody's father, somebody's daughter. And to just ever have that knowledge that somebody would be able to get something to eat is a last resort. It got kicked out of all other programs because you're fighting. And as I've said before, you can't control your anger. And yeah, sometimes it gets taken out on Father Creer down there with physically assaulted and punched multiple times and coffee thrown on him. But it's amazing that there's still people in society that will not build barriers between them and those people and figure out a way that I could just have a packaged meal and I could just put it out the door and just be done with it. It's like, no. Some time ago, I said philosophically, to be happy, we really, and emotionally, we really need to know that our presence here on planet Earth matters to other people. And the extent of our happiness will be intertwined with the extent that we get involved and make a difference in other people's lives. We live in a society where we sort of branch off and think that our happiness comes from material acquisition, social. How many followers do I have? How can I make a better thumbnail for my YouTube video? In other words, our priorities get waylaid in life. And what do we end up doing? We end up serving ourselves. Self-service. Well, self-service doesn't really cut it mentally. Doesn't really provide that feeling of I'm needed elsewhere. So now when I think about projects down there and, improvements to operations and moving things and purchasing new equipment and purchasing food items for with the money that you guys donate, I think that, hey, this is sustaining life down here. This matters. And if I'm here and I'm helping out on a regular basis, the other people can put a little less shoulder to the wheel. And I can do that. Yeah, I could do that project. Yeah, I could clean up the warehouse. Yeah, I could inventory things for you. All of a sudden, you're a tool. All of a sudden, you have the power to positively affect people's lives. So the more I've engaged and the more I've been involved, and I tell you, do this on your local level too. Wait till my fundraiser. Do this kind of thing on a local level, and you will find that your rewards emotionally, spiritually, are tremendous. And as you start to, you pull away for a while from there, you get drawn in like a magnet. I remember when I went in and that, I was told that they'd had a fire at the storage tent. Now the storage tent was really a top of the line. It was beautifully built, triple thick walls, windproof to like 95 miles. It was beautiful. The climate's very good in Las Vegas. So you don't have that much rain. But when I went in there and saw the amount of destruction, and you guys saw the video on the channel here, imagine the average person in society today would just be like, throw up the hands, walk away, lock the door. Don't even lock the door. Don't worry about it. Just turn off. No, don't even turn off the light. Just leave. So when I see somebody that's dedicated for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30, 32 years of selfless service, and I look at my life and I'm like, oh, I can travel where I want. I can pretty much do what I want. I can goof around with vintage audio, metal detecting, kitchen stadium, live streams. I think in the back of my head, yeah, there's somebody on the ground daily that is consuming his or her whole life in the service of other people. And I think that it's particularly phenomenal. And in the case of this St. Joe's food program, everything that I ever imagined or perceived is wrapped up in that one program. So it's amazing to me to see no salaries. I go to I'm not begrudging the people at the Redwood Empire Food Bank, but the top 10 executives whose job is to distribute, to take in food from those who have more or can donate and give it to those who have less. Salaries range from $200,000. There's no one in the top 10 that's making less than $140,000 a year. I don't know about you, but I think 30 or 40 years ago, the spirit of volunteerism and the spirit of can-do in communities would have never allowed that sort of massive scale institutional charity to get off the ground to the point now where it depends so heavily on government and continued funding for its existence that perpetuating its own life, it just takes on its own sort of momentum. But things where people are volunteering and working on the ground, they have a more intimate knowledge of what's being done and the sacrifices that are being made lovingly, not begrudgingly. Nobody's ever I never heard anybody complain a bit. I saw people come all the way from New Zealand, and I have it on video. They came all the way there on vacation to just take time out of their vacation to come up from New Zealand that have known about this place and showed up and said, I want to come down and work on the line for 2 days for you, 9 to 10 in the morning. Yeah, I'll get up a little earlier. I'll come down and help set up, dish out, clean up, and then I'll go enjoy my day. Imagine that. And this happens all the time as the legacy of this operation becomes more and more known throughout America. It's absolutely phenomenal to me what some people will do to be of service to others. And some of the happiest people, I guess New Zealand, maybe all New Zealanders are happy. Now, I think they were happy because they knew they mattered on that morning, and it was fantastic. All this is leading up to, and if you've been with me so far, I do appreciate it. Last night, joyfully, the call-in show, we're now starting to take call-ins on the show. And joyfully, I'm able to report this morning that we are over the continental divide of the halfway towards our goal of $12,000 here. I think I woke up this morning, we're around $6,100, which is fantastic because today's the 9th of November. And the big, massive, mega live stream, marathon live stream on the 25th. We should be in good shape provided we have your help. And people have been helping a lot. You can also help if you haven't helped. Below this video, there is a donate button. And there's also a video that explains some of the, it explains in great detail what's been done, the years have been done, why the food program was introduced. You meet Father Creer, who's one of the most humble people that you'll ever meet. He's some people say he's very stoic. He's very something severe or whatever, but he's single focused on what his job is. And we don't see that today, where a lot of people are glad handing and, yeah, how you doing? Yeah, hey, let's play some golf today? And yeah, and how about the restaurant dinner out and things like this? Let's treat everybody, yeah, right? Let's have a good time. No. So I have a high standard to model myself after, and it's a wonderful thing. So if you do feel so inclined, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, make a donation down below and look at some of the videos and some of the things that's been posted over the years for this particular fundraiser. When I tell you it's unique, it's unique. When I tell you that every penny, nothing goes to overhead, it's the truth. Everything plows right into that program. Food, freezers, refrigerators, warming trays, microwave ovens, dishes, everything burned up in that fire. All of this stuff burned up. Right? Because some homeless person fell asleep or whatever, intentionally lit fire to the tent, and sadly was drugged out of his mind, to the point that the fire department had to rescue him from simply stepping over a 3-foot fence to escape. He didn't know how to do it. This is the world. The other thing you can do on your social media, amongst your channels and friends, I would sure like to broaden this out so that other people begin to participate. And next year, I can have collaborative channels join me in this effort, and we can blow the doors off of this thing and just make it a fantastic operation. It doesn't have to live in fear of when is this volunteer going to keel over and not be able to come anymore? When are the 7-Elevens and then gonna cut us off from this stuff? Right? What happens if we can't find anybody to prepare the foods and things? You know, to remove some of that constant overhead fear factor. So share it out if you don't mind. Tell people what's going on and be a part of it. Well, this little tool with the big mouth is going to close it out today. And thank you guys for putting us over the hump. Of course, I will be live this evening making a huge batch of chicken pasta soup, which I like to do. It's also a good time where we all gather together as a really unique family and have a lot of fun. I welcome you to join us on those live streams. We're always welcoming new people as we encourage other people to be giving in this season of November, which is traditionally a time that we give thanks. And I think it's very important in our society today. Hey, your thumbs up are appreciated. If you're not subscribed, yeah, you want to follow this all the way through to the end here. And then we're back to fun, goofing around and other things, which I will be anyway. But subscribe and hit that for all notifications. Thank you for being a part. All of the beautiful people here that have stepped up in the face of a government that's shut down, AI sweeping jobs out, and people just blast right through that. And think to myself, this is going to make me feel good. It's going to make Rosie feel good. It's going to make the church feeding operation feel good. And it's my intention on that marathon day to have the call-in going on. So if you want to talk to Father Creer, to sit there open line for an hour. As I said before, sometimes just bucking somebody up a little bit and saying, you know, we see what's going on. Now we see what's happening. It's a chance to say, keep on keeping on. And a little prayer once in a while is helpful too. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching today. Once again, subscribe, hit that bell for all notifications, and let's keep rolling. Thanks, everybody.